How we doing, everybody?
Hi, welcome.
We are your Black Girls in AI, Jessica.
Chelle.
And today we are discussing the good old sexy topic of operational efficiency in business.
Screaming at the laptop.
Oh, isn't that a fun topic there, Chelle? Isn't that nice and exciting? Operational efficiency in business.
Always fun and excited.
The panty dropper. Panty droppers. How are we going to optimize efficiency? Synergy. Because it's like the driest topic. What do you do? I do performance efficiency with AI. What's that mean? I help you do more things in less time.
Like what?
So here's the thing. A lot of what people see as AI, as you discussed in our previous episodes.
Yes.
What we're talking about is usually what we would say is generative AI, right? The AI that makes things, that writes stuff for you, that creates images, that does videos, that generates. It's also about what's called NLP, natural language processing, right? And that is the big technological advancement in AI today. That's what makes the age of AI the age of AI. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Because we can talk to it. Before, you had to talk to it using Python and Java, Ruby on Rails, C++. You had to talk to it in those languages. So you as a human had to learn a language. You had to learn one language to build the thing and another language to talk to the thing. Or sometimes you talk to the thing in that same language. But it was never just our talking human language.
Okay.
Right? So most people don't think of programmers and coders as these like multilingual polyglot, but they are. Yeah. They are, to an extent. To an extent. This is the linguist in me being a little bit like, well, actually, it's to an extent.
Wow.
Because if it's not a language, like there's natural language, which is languages that humans use today. There's dead languages that humans used to use, like Latin.
So that is a dead language.
Latin is a dead language because it's not anyone's native language today. It's kept alive because people do study Latin. They learn Latin. They can speak to each other in Latin, so if they were to choose, right? But it's a dead language because there's no baby being born into a household where the mom speaks Latin. Think of it that way.
Okay.
That's what makes a language alive.
Okay.
And that's the difference between a natural language or what it's called like an artificial language. Now, let's be very clear. Everything is made up. I'm not trying to get all metaphysical. It's just hard to talk about language without getting a little metaphysical here. But literally everything is made up. The decision that we have made, what this is language is an example of collective consciousness. I know I'm back in that. It's impossible to avoid.
Okay, my girl, she's going in.
It's impossible to avoid when you actually understand this stuff.
Yeah.
Because, all right, we have all agreed that this thing crap, I got another one. That this thing that can write thing that this thing that you can use your hand or other piece of the body to expel ink in a particular way. We have all agreed in the English language to call this a pen.
Yes.
And that is collective consciousness.
Wow.
Because there's no actual reason why this is called a pen.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
There's no reason.
Yeah.
Now, it's my nerdy linguist in me, especially when you get into onomatopoeias, which are words that sound like the sound that they make, that they describe. So shush is an onomatopoeia.
Okay.
Because don't shush me.
Yeah.
Because you go shh.
Yeah.
Right? So shh is a shush.
Yeah.
And the shush describes shh.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes.
That's an onomatopoeia.
I follow you.
All right.
Follow.
And a lot of is no. Because of this. The nose and no go together.
Oh. Okay.
Get a little into it.
Okay.
Yeah, right,
okay,
right.
Because I didn't know that.
Right. There's a reason why, and it's partially because with babies, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Like when you want the titty, you go like this. If you breastfed or see babies breastfeed, you know that they go like this when they're when they're first born.
Yeah.
Fresh out the womb, 5 minutes out the womb, they're like, not even, like 30 seconds out the womb, they're like, ma. That's why mom memories ma, because
Okay.
are we following?
I'm following.
So these are all have to do with what I'm drawing is the physical.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So in certain words, there are rationales for why the word is this word. A great example is whip.
Okay.
Whip, whipping as the noun, the adjective, the verb.
Yes.
All refer to the mouth motions.
Okay.
Right? Because this action of whipping, whipping when you're cooking, the move, whip, it actually refers to the sound that you're making with your mouth. Okay. Whip. Okay. That's why whip goes like that. It's a big, wide open, close, just like your mouth when you make the word whip. Okay. Does that make sense? Yes. How these relate. So there are certain words that relate to the physicality of the brain's kind of correlation between how you make the sound and the meaning. Yes. Okay. But there's other words that don't do that. Yeah. And that's actually why the origin of language and etymology can be really fascinating to the nerds like me who care. Because why is table called mesa in Spanish and it's la mesa versus the table, sur la table in French? Why? Yes. Why table, tablet versus mesa, like a flat space? What does that have to do with like the language and their concept of these terms and the history and the origin? Because they're both Latin languages. So it's really fascinating between Romance languages. And again, why are Romance languages? I got into this with some idiots, and it's my own fault for arguing with an idiot. But I was like, maybe because you don't know, because I'm the linguist and I know. Maybe I'll try to explain it to you. Okay. The reason why Haiti is a Latin American country is because Haiti speaks French. French is a Latin language. Okay. So Latin America refers to all of the American countries, minus Canada, that speak Latin languages. Which includes, because this guy was Haitian. He didn't know. He was Haitian Dominican. Oh, well, there you go. And he's trying to argue with me, but last name Pierre, okay? Like, I mean, but that's that one of the Dominican. But he really thought he had a point. And because French is a Latin language. The term is Romance language. Yes. There are 5 Romance languages. They are Spanish, French, Portuguese, Italian. Oh, I didn't know Portuguese was one. It is. And Romanian. Oh, that's random. Romanian. Well, I because where did the Romans go when the Roman Empire ended? They went to Romania. What other places were part of the Roman Empire? Rome, that city in Italy, Italian, Rome, Romance. What was the language of Rome? Latin. What are the 5 languages that are Latin/Romance languages? Again, Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian, Romanian. Does that seem out of nowhere? It does until you say it out loud. Then it makes perfect sense, right? Yeah. Okay. Portuguese is just Spanish people who just separated. Literally. It's literally part of Spain. They're like, no, we don't like you. And then we just kind of, that's it. That's why you have Basque. Technically, there's more languages like Basque. I'm really simplifying here. I'm not trying to get that deep into it. We're off topic, but still. So, okay. Back to America. Latin America includes Haiti. Does not include Jamaica. Why? Because Jamaicans speak English. English is a Germanic language. In a whole? Germanic. Germanic. It's a German-based language. Okay. That is why, side note, if you like me, you're a nerd, and you like to watch movies in their original languages, you can sometimes understand a little bit of what they're saying in German, Swedish, Norwegian, Germanic language-based movies. Because, for example, kindergarten is a German word. Child play. It's kindergarten. Okay. Then Kinder. That's why you have Kinder snacks. Children's chocolates. Yeah. Children's snacks. Kinder snacks. Kindergarten. A garden is just a housing of things. Yeah. Like beer garden. Yes. Right? You know what I'm saying? How we just put these words together, right? And German has this annoying habit of just putting a whole bunch of words together to make one big word. I've seen trying to read certain German words. And it's like 15 words in one. Why are you like this? I'm just like this.
I'm not equipped.
It's its own thing.
It's either yes or no.
It's its own thing.
It's just dragging.
It is.
A run-on sentence.
It really is. It's unnecessarily long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then it makes some things sound really like unsexy, right? Like French can sound really sexy, and German being next door sounds very unsexy. Even if you're saying sweet and loving things, it's crazy sometimes. But anyways, so all of this back to the point of like natural language, right? Fake languages. What we say fake or made up languages, right? Because like I said, all language is made up. That's the point I was going with the whole pen thing. Why the pen is here, right? Why we call this a pen? Because in Spanish this is called a pluma. That's based off of a quill, a feather.
Yeah, what they used to use back a long time ago.
Right.
Yeah.
So the idea of ink. So it's the ink that made the name. Yeah. The ink would draw the name for the pen.
Yes.
Versus lapis, which is pencil. I forgot the origin for lapis, but lapis is pencil in Spanish. Pluma is pen in Spanish. Pluma refers to quilt and ink. Ink, pluma, right? And because pens have ink, that's why they're called plumas. My whole point is to say that there's no real reason for those terms to be used for these things. There's no universal reason why water is called water. Because it's called l'eau in French. It's called agua in Spanish. There's no real reason. You know what I'm saying? For why we do it. It's all made up. But so the difference between like this idea of a natural language versus like an artificial language, right? And you even have artificial languages that humans have made, like Esperanto. And there are apparently people somewhere who do speak Esperanto. So it's kind of trying. It was an effort to turn it into like a universal European language by making up a human language that was designed to be relatively easy for Germanic and Latin origin speakers to learn. Because it's very simplistic grammar. It uses one of those common grammar, subject, verb, object structures. It's very nominative, accusative language. Don't worry about all those terms, but just saying the point, it's designed to be easy to learn, right? But no one really uses it because language is cultural. You learn language from your mother speaking it. You know, and like your mom, you learn the language. By the time you came out the womb, you knew the language, right? So all this is to say that this is why, right, like Elvish, Klingon, right, Dwarfish, looking at the Tolkien languages, the ones in like J.R.R. Tolkien of the Hobbit, of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit franchises, yes. Right? Because he's a linguist. So he just made up those languages and then built lore around them. Yeah, that was his whole thing. He was just trying to think of, he talks about it. He was just trying to think of like, what would the history of like England be like? If I were like to think of the history of the world through the lens of England. If I were to make up a mythology, because England doesn't have mythology because they're invaders and they don't belong there. It's another story for the day. But the quote unquote British do not belong to England. Anyways, they're invaders. Okay. But those people, right? So he made up this idea. So he made up a language, a few. Starting with Elvish, and then Dwarfish, and all these other languages he made up, Orcish, all that cool stuff.
For the movie?
He made them up. He made them up first. He started with the languages first. Then he wrote the books second. Okay. Then years later, they got turned into movies and shows and cartoons and whatnot, right? And so there is a certain element, you know, Klingon, same thing with Star Trek. There's a bunch of artificial languages in Star Wars. Yes. It's fascinating. Yes. Again, as a linguist, I'm like, you know, some of these made up languages in different movies really are like real made up languages, or they just were really, or they'll truly make them up, or they'll combine and they get linguists together to do that. It's really cool. It's a cool job, I would think, as a linguist.
I would think so too. Like,
you really definitely cool job.
It's like making up your own language, and then like other people who've never heard of it, never seen it, don't even know it exists. And like you're teaching them, and it's like when you see them in a movie, it's like it flows so naturally. Like, it just seems like it's a real language, but it's really not.
And there's a lot of pieces to them because they'll make like dialects in there and stuff too. Like they decide on dialects people have, and like why people from a certain age talk a certain way. Yeah, it's really fast because obviously they do that from a speech standpoint in film for the English for the whatever the language. The natural language. So it's fun to think about that for artificial language. But to that point,
I got a question. Yeah. So I was watching Law & Order yesterday.
Which one?
SVU. Okay, Benson the Stabler. You know, shout out to y'all.
Hey, it's the kids. Those were kids.
Listen. So it was two twins on this episode where they've been pretty much abusing each other based off of the therapist.
Was that the one where the one was a girl and he wasn't? That was wild. I remember that episode.
So they started talking
your own twin language.
In the twin language.
Twins do that a lot.
And so it's like
it's a very common thing.
So that is true. Because Stabler said it, and I was like,
I'm trying to tell you, that's a huge piece of the understanding of how language develops and why I'm telling you language is a collective consciousness thing.
Yeah.
That is why languages are often unique to certain cultures. People from a certain culture can learn their language, even they've been separated from their culture, because the consciousness that's ingrained in your DNA. When you're the same exact person, identical twins, you're a clone. You're the same person. So you have a certain wavelength that only you and your twin can vibe on. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's just a certain wavelength. So you guys can make up a language and teach it to each other and learn it, because you're basically using, for all intents and purposes, telepathy.
Yeah.
For all, you know what I mean? For all intents and purposes, you're using telepathy.
Yeah.
To intuit, this is good. We're going to create a new word for this.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a new language and a whole new system to talk about it, so you can talk to each other. And I remember they were doing that. They were talking circles around everybody.
They were just going for it.
And
when Stabler was like, he just started listening real hard, and my man was like no.
There's
They're
nothing
not
you can get.
English. Like this is
no way to learn it.
Made up. He said, because my twins do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's actually real.
I mean, fraternal twins do it too. It's just much more common with identical twins. Fraternal twins can do it too. Okay, because you shared the womb.
No, for sure.
The first consciousness you were ever tuned into was your twins, because you were also growing and your brain was developing on the exact same level at the same time. So that's what a piece of it is. Like, you're developing at the same time with that person on the exact same level. Even if they're a fraternal twin, just because your brain's developing and then you have that twin bond. You know what I mean? The amniotic sac, all that kind of cool stuff. And then obviously you're tuned into your mother's language. This is why, like, children who, for example, like, so for example, like with my child, my ex-husband is for all intents and purposes a Maroon, a Jamaican. And he's a Maroon. He's basically, not really, he would get upset if he heard that, but to y'all, let's just call him a Jamaican. Let's make it easy for you guys to understand. And they have their own dialect, their own patois of English. Where I speak Standard American English. Now, I understand the patois because my father's Jamaican, so I understand patois. And even my father's patois is different from his, because my father's is Kingston versus country. It's different. And our son, birthed from me, and then especially his last months were up here in the States, he is very attuned to Standard American English. Okay. He could spend, he learned to really speak down there. He wasn't talking. He was babbling like babies babble. And see, if he had a twin, he might have babbled with his twin and created a twin language. Yeah. But he was babbling up here. He knew how to speak. He could speak some words. He could put a little effort into it and say some phrases. He knew what, but he just chose not to. He was happy vibing on his own little wavelength, beating to his own drum. The point I bring up is to say that him and I can talk on the phone. Especially we talk on the phone like every single day for 3 days. His Jamaican accent will start to disappear. He starts to go back to his factory settings, which is Standard American English. Which is why I'm happy to leave him down there and do his thing, because I know that for the Jamaicans down there, they will not accept him unless he speaks their accent. It's fine, because they like that with me. When I be down there, like, you're not a real Jamaican. You're not have to speak. Oh, I'm not Jamaican because I don't speak with patois. That's all it took was some patois. So I can put it on if you really feel like it. I mean, I'm sitting here in the same. I'm sitting here in the same taxi you are, at the same market you are, with the same chip, who's buying the same stuff with the same wearing the same clothes. It's because I don't talk the way you do. You didn't know I wasn't one of y'all, so I opened up my mouth.
That's all that was.
Because I look like y'all. You want to know why? Because I am y'all. But that's like, it's just ignorance. It's just, I'm not going to sugarcoat my peoples. Okay, there's some real dumb people over there.
That's anywhere. A lot of people do that.
No, but it's a brain drain issue for countries like that, because the smart people get up and leave. So a lot of people who are stuck in Jamaica are unfortunately the dumbest,
they have to deal with that.
The most ignorant and the dumbest one. I'm not saying that you can't be smart and live there. I'm not saying that if you're smart you wouldn't live there. I'm just saying that a lot of the smart people are like, hey, I could have running water if I just left. I could have air conditioning if I just left. I think I'll do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to argue with that logic. You know what I'm saying? But my point. So yes, languages, wavelength. That is actually part of the reason why these digital languages have been such a challenge for people, right? Because to learn French, I can just go to France. I can go to Martinique and go to Haiti, learn French Creole. I can even go to Louisiana and speak plenty of French Creole down there. It's not French, but it's something. It's along the path. Same thing with Spanish. Same thing with Italian, all the languages. I could find a handful of Japanese people here in DC and start talking Japanese. But you cannot speak computer language.
Okay.
It's not designed to be spoken. It's not designed to be heard. It's only designed to be written, and you're not even designed to write it by hand because it's meant to be typed. And so it's not really meant to be read. It's meant to be interpreted.
Okay.
Which is different. You know what I'm saying? And that has actually been the challenge of these computer languages this whole time, right? And we talk like as far as like the AI piece and how AI has been hanging out and hiding in our, I know the point, right? How AI efficiency has been sitting before our eyes this whole time. We haven't noticed it because we haven't been able to talk to these machines because
like not even like put no, because I feel like grant you it was being brought up, people's putting it in like phones, calculated like any type of thing, but I don't think people was talking about it enough for people to be aware like, oh well, this is AI going on, etc. Like how it is now,
because it's hard to talk. Here's the thing: if I want, like what I just did a research project, right? I just did a research project for this, right? For we're optimizing our project management within the company. We're systematizing our systems and just really rebuilding, revamping, and growing, and the operational back end, right? And so I did a deep research on, hey, which products do you recommend? I identified this one, that one, and these 3 others. These are the ones that we're already using as a company. I don't really want to stop using those. How I'm willing to, I would like to use as few programs as it makes sense to accomplish the goal, right? So if I can use 2, I'll use 2. If I have to use 3, I'll use 3. Tell me which ones to use, how and why, and how it makes sense to get my most ROI and all that kind of stuff. Compare free plans to paid plans and how I should build a stack, what I can do, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
I could say that exactly like I just said it right now. I type that in. I could show the prompt. I could type that in right there and spit out research. If I were to do the exact same thing using Python, right? I have to open up pip, and then I would have to interpret, like meta interpret everything I'm asking it to do. And then I'd have to break all of those things down into tasks that the language can handle. You see what I'm saying? And it's a lot of extra steps. So a lot of computer programmers don't understand that they're actually like meta-linguists.
Okay.
They are. You have to be.
Yeah.
At a certain level. And it's different frequency. That's why I've all talked about like the material world, or the spiritual world, the material world, the digital world, right? Or realms. You want to think of that way, right? Usually because like for us on the screen, we got like thirds of the screen. It's easy for me to like visualize, right? And I can start drawing charts. But it's like literally you have like the spirit realm, the material realm, and the digital realm, if you want to think of it that way, right? Where the spirit realm manifested the material realm. We in the material realm manifested the digital realm. Right? And you could argue that this is our approximation of what the spirit realm looks like, but that we can comprehend. Could be argued. I don't really care. Surprisingly, which might sound like I really actually don't care about how humans. I just know what. I know the what and the why. I don't even care about the why. Like the why is actually the boring part to me, because like y'all just can't have children. That's what that's about. It is. It is. Because you know why? Because women were doing computers back when it was just really simplistic typing, and it was women's work.
Yes.
Computers was all until the boys came up with the idea of making it smarter and more intelligent and making it do stuff and start trying to create life. Okay, let's just be real here. Okay, if y'all could birth the baby, you would sit the hell down. All right, but you can't, and that's why you mad. You keep trying to create things. That's why you always want the robots. You know that we're not the ones trying to make robots. Y'all are the ones trying to make robots.
And it's like the female, like trying to make them have a body and all this stuff and stuff. I find that to be, it's like a weird fetish.
Because they want, the reason why we have STDs is because they have sex with animals.
And that's so, I've always thought that was so weird.
It's not weird. Like I've always known that, and I was like,
that's
guys
weird.
what's weird? Yeah, it's having sex with animals.
Weird.
That's weird. Because like to put it in any old thing, like I mean.
It's okay. We don't gotta go there.
But here's the thing: to language and the point of AI hitting the machine. I don't forget the point. So that's where the challenge has been for the quote unquote average person, right? Is because you're asking people to not express but interpret and express. It's a huge additional processing step in the brain to be able to put things into a computer language and make instructions from there. It's a much different kind, in fact, a higher level of expression and processing to just say the idea out. And the easiest way for us to say the idea out is in a human language that we use, a natural language. And then teaching the programs how to process natural language is a lot of work. It takes humans having a very deep understanding of natural language and the computer language that they have built. This is what I mentioned, I think, last week, talking about like how, like, when copies create copies, and it gets downgraded every single time. That's why I get into all the different realms, right? Because if you look, when we think we are gods, we are, but in the sense that because we are creators, we are divine, we are creations of the divine, who's in the material realm, in the spiritual realm. Us in the material realm are manifestations of the divine in the spiritual realm, but we are a downgrade with pros and cons. But we are an inherent downgrade.
Downgrade is crazy.
It just is. Because here's the thing, all it was, and it's actually, not to get like deep into it, those who are familiar with the Bible.
Yeah.
Right? First there was.
Yeah.
I am he. That was it. And in fact, first there was is the key part. First there just was. There was no division. Then the first division is I. The foolishness idea of individualism is the first falsehood of creation. The first falsehood of existence is that there is any separation. There is such thing as I, truly. But that would be the idea of I, and that then there was one creator, then other creations in the spirit realm, we're talking about way up here in the spirit realm, is what created the space for then material things to exist. Right? That is that illusion, but it's like the illusion created a framework. That framework allowed a creation of a different kind to happen than when you have no rules. Just like I said with you, like why you have to have systems in business, right? If I just say, go make this thing, and I just say nothing else, it's hard. But if I say, make this exact thing in this way, in this framework, with this time, in this type of way, it's much easier to create. It's actually easier to think outside of the box when you have a box to think outside of. Okay? If there was no box, you can't think outside of it. You're just thinking. See what I'm getting at? Like, so again, so imagine if you're just inserted inside of a gigantic, flat, grassy plain that just goes for miles in all directions. What are you gonna do? You could do anything, but it's hard to figure it out. And imagine if you were inserted in that situation and all you had to do is say what you wanted and it would appear. You say, I want seeds, seeds will appear. I want tomato seeds appear. I want heirloom organic, tomato seeds that produce delicious cherry tomatoes. It'll appear. Like, imagine that was the world you lived in, but you had to say it. So then now you're just standing here in this field of nothingness, of more or less purgatory, limbo nothingness, but you can create anything without limitations. If you don't need to sleep, would you have made a bed? You don't get it? Like, but you see how the limitations create, boost creativity. Because here we are as material beings. We can die. So that means life has meaning. Without time, time is the thing that gives meaning to matter. Yes. Without time, matter has no meaning and matter fails to be relevant. But time without matter doesn't matter. Because there's nothing there to be counted. You can't count, right? It's like if you have money, then you can count it. Without a count, so if you just have a stack of gold, it's just sitting there as an amorphous blob. It's not in medallions. It's just a blob of gold. How much gold do you know you even have? You have to measure it.
I was about to say, you gotta do the measurements. You
have to weigh it. You have to. That's like time. Yes. Measurement is time is measurement. Measurement is time. Understand those two things are the same exact thing. Measurement is just a measurement of the material. Time is a measurement of space. Material exists in space. But you understand? So all this is to say, getting back to the earlier points, right? That when you're trying to create a thing, right? And if you imagine, go back to that scenario. Imagine you're in that open field, that limbo-like space, completely open, and it's just you as you are in that space. And you know that you just have to command it and it'll be there. But imagine if you had to command in a hyper-specific way that wasn't like normal. That you had to be given an entire library of books to teach you how to command to get your thing. How much would you create versus if you could just stand in that same field and just say out loud, I want ice. I want a glass to drink from with cold water in it. And then it appeared. Like, how much more would you create if you could just say out loud, I want this, and you got it.
Just got it right then and there.
Versus having to go to a book, read the book, learn what's in there, and then in the exact correct way, type your instruction. And this is why the typing piece is important. From a cognitive standpoint, this is very important, people. This is why the AI today that's in your businesses, in your machines, is so much more powerful and relevant than the AI that was there before. Is because writing, like I'm actually left-handed. So this is like weird holding it. This looks weird to me to see a pen in my right hand. This is like bizarre, but
I'm right-handed.
I can't. I don't know how y'all do this. This is so hard. It's like every time I've tried to write, I can't. You really force me to. I could write a whole essay right-handed. I had to one time. It was horrible. It was like I was almost crying. I was like, this is the worst thing in the world. It's okay. Japanese and Chinese are actually easy, though. It makes sense. They're designed. Japanese and Chinese are designed to be written with your right hand. They're right-handed languages, so it makes sense to write.
What's the left-handed language?
There isn't one.
Oh.
Yes, because you guys are tyrannical. Tyrants. The 90% of the world. But you know what? 90% of world leaders, CEOs. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Listen, I
coaches, business owners, leaders, managers, all the people who run this are left-handed.
Barack was left-handed.
Okay?
I love left-handed people.
All you followers.
I love left-handed people.
All you sheeple with your stupid right-handedness. And you're killing us. It's oppressive. We die. Do you know how many left-handed people are dying?
I'm so sorry.
Because of y'all and your tyranny? Your tyranny.
I love a left-handy. Every time I see a left hand, I get so excited. I like that, but I get excited when I see a left hand. I'll be like, oh, you're left-handed? And then they just be writing, and I'm just like, oh, and that's my first question. Did you go to school for? Did they give you a scholarship? They're like, no.
They were trying to, I went to school in Hawaii. They actually... That's a funny story. My mom's right. Both my parents are right-handed, and it was like I think it's like only like a 10% likelihood that I would have been left-handed, because both my parents are right-handed. But it was really funny because I went to school, in Hawaii, mostly Asians, right? Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans, and they don't like left-handed at all. They don't F with this at all.
Left-handed?
No, because remember, Chinese and Japanese and Korean are meant to be written right-handed, and they have many physical and spiritual beliefs around left-handedness. Also, why it's called southpaw, devil's hand. Y'all right-handed people are so oppressive.
You keep saying y'all. Okay.
And discriminatory. It's obscene. But y'all be calling us the devil because we are in our right mind. Literally. Left-handed people operate from our right mind. But so when I was writing with my left hand, right, I'm writing, and they would be like, oh no, like don't. And also because like I write and things too, like so I'm doing it down here because with pencil. Back in the olden days when we actually wrote with pencil, I think children these days actually write with pens. I'm not mad.
Listen,
I'm not mad at them, but like back when we were growing up, when we learned cursive, we used pencil.
100% pencil, baby. 100%
okay.
Pencil.
And so the reason why left-handed people write like this is because we're smearing, because the language is written from left to right, and we're trying not to smear the writing. So that's also it actually gives away your age now too, because young people don't do that. So young left-handed people have the freedom to write like this.
No,
the way right-handed, they still write like that.
They write like this.
Yeah, because you have
Young or old, I've seen them write like this.
Because you see, like if I write across, now my little gap right here, you can't see it on screen, but like my little gap, it allows me, because I started out like every child, and then I had a whole hand covered in silver lead, and the whole page was smeared. Yeah. And imagine you're writing a little school essay, and you're just cranking an essay out, and you're not even thinking, and then you look, the whole page is covered in smears.
Gone, girl.
Because I used to have to go back with a pen and trace my own writing and just erase it. So I used to like write an essay. Like I had an hour to write an essay. I had to write it in like 45 minutes just so I had the extra 15 minutes to trace my own writing with a pen slowly and then erase the pencil markings because I wrote it so fast that all the pencil all over my wrist and hand. Like that's
so nice.
You see what I'm talking about? So that's why you develop the tyranny of writing with your hand all like this, so that you can just skip that extra step, and then you end up with the unnecessary wrist problems because of y'all. But
I don't know why you keep including me into that, honey. I just don't understand.
I went pissed. I got really upset in college too because that's mine. Because I got really annoyed in college because the desks used to the little teeny tiny desks that were like this freaking big. You remember those little college desks that are like this big, and they'd be on the right side of the table, and then I would have imagine that. So I'm over here writing like this. So then I would just pull a second desk over. Like I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna take a second. Like, oh, we need that. No, because y'all discriminate against my people. Then they'd be like so confused, like, but there's other black people here. No. And then at Berkeley, especially, like, listen, like I get you on a black person. It's actually not only being black today. Surprisingly, it's not only being black today. Today is about the right-handed tyranny.
My girl, it's about the hands and how you write. It's not about the race. It's not about my color.
Today.
It's about
today.
It's
not
about
this
a
thing.
Feature. Like,
and then especially like in the auditorium seating where you can't even move the desk. You know what I'm talking about? Where the little Johns will pop out on the side and it'd be this freaking big. And and then so I'd have to just choose the one next to me. And then I would tell people like, don't sit next to me. Why? Because I'm gonna use this desk and you're not gonna stop me. I'm not. I don't care what you think. I'm using this desk. I'm writing down right here. So if you want to put your laptop in your lap, or if you're someone who just doesn't take notes, you just want to take a nap today, but not on the desk.
I need this.
I'm using it. My bag will be sitting there. Everything. Like I need this. Or I'm going to the ADA. I'm going to the ADA. I go through too much here. I'm not doing it over my hands today. Okay? It's bad enough. You're going to catch these hands if you make my hands a problem.
My girl said, I needs this.
I needs this.
And I won't.
And
I need this and I won't.
And one of the things they did in Mason College is they got these different desks where it was a full seat and the thing came through the middle. And then the desk was just like a full-size desk. It was evenly cut. You know what I mean? It's like little, you know what I'm talking about? No. Like where the seat. So instead of it just being on the side of the seat, it was a little bar under the seat that came up through the middle and built the desk.
So sorry. Now your age is showing. No, I have no.
This is new. Well, this is brand new.
Never seen it.
No, it's your age showing. It's your lack of college experience. Or y'all boosty colleges out here.
Listen,
because my little community college. I'm talking about community college in 2010, 2009. 2007, 2008.
I don't know nothing about that desk.
That's when I was in college. Don't worry, they did dating myself. I'm talking about Laney College. Well, no, in high school, we still had them little BS side desks, and I just took extra desks. Or they would relegate. In
college, they had them same desks.
Yeah, they might have one or two, and I would actually like ask, do you happen to have a left-handed desk anywhere? Can you please ensure that one is put into all of my classes? Like, I'm going to be in all of these classes that are in these rooms. Can you please have maintenance, whoever, put at least two left-handed desks? And then when I get there, I would say, please do not use a left-handed desk unless you're left-handed.
You got what you gotta do.
No, I mean, I get there when I get there. But I'm saying, I gotta, I requested a left-handed desk in here. Your right-handed desk is going to and move the desk to where you want it, but I'm going to use the left-handed desk.
This is my desk.
The tyranny. But see, so imagine, we were talking about left-handed is right-handed. So imagine like the difficulty of trying to create, right? And the whole point I was getting at actually was back in elementary school. So they asked my mom, do you want us, they have a special belt that would tie your left hand behind your back. It was Velcro, because it's meant for 5-year-olds. You know, It's not that cruel, but it was a little cruel. They had a special belt that had like a little Velcro strap that Velcro your wrist behind your back, your left wrist, to force you to be right-handed. Like we have one of those. You want? And she was like, "How dare you? That is cruel." I was like, "Thank God for my mama writing for me." Because I was ready to knuck and buck and fight. I don't care if I was like 6 years old. Like, you ain't gonna tell me how to write.
No, that's insane. That's too much. I mean,
it's Chinese Japanese culture. It's not just the Chinese. It's not just the Japanese. It's Chinese Japanese. I think the Koreans don't care quite as much. You know what I mean? But like
that's so weird.
The Chinese, there was their whole culture because Mrs. Sakaguchi was a nice lady. You know, I'm not gonna talk about my kindergarten teacher. She was a real sweetheart. I love my Mrs. Sakaguchi. I'm guessing she's resting in peace because she was 60 back in the 90s. So or she's still with us. I love you, Mrs. Sakaguchi. Because Japanese do live to be forever old.
They do.
I love my old teachers. Miss Chin was a bitch, but everybody knew that. Everyone knew that. Miss Chin, and Miss Lee, y'all were bitches. They were the third grade teachers. Mrs. Segura. Mrs. Sakaguchi. Yo, Mr. Fujie, I ride for y'all. We ride.
Say, y'all some bitches.
No, they were the Chinese ones, okay? Like, that was great. But the Japanese teachers were really nice. The Chinese ones were like mean. And like, you would think that they were the friends with the Nazis. Y'all are so freaking mean. But that's one reason I'm a good writer, because I used to get so many lines and essays I'd have to write. Because that was the punishment, was writing essays. That was my third grade after school punishment. If you got in trouble, you'd have to write an essay. And like a real like opening introductory paragraph, 3 persuasion paragraphs, and a 2, 3, 1.
And what grade was this?
Third. And then you have to write a conclusion. And it had to be over 1 page, single spaced, legible. Okay? And if she didn't like it, you had to rewrite it. So
torture is what that is. That's torture.
But hey, look who can write.
Do your thing, but that's still torture, baby. That's still torture.
But that's my point too, because this is where then you talk about garbage in, garbage out, right? So think about that element too. Like, so imagine if you're trying to prompt, do deep research on the right project management softwares to use in my business. That is one type of prompt that is not garbage, but it's not far enough away from it. It's kind of bullcrap. Okay, it's not an actual steaming turd, but it's kind of still a pile of shit. But it'll work, right? So if you were to give like your regular AI that right now, because it's a natural language, you'll get something. Now, if you were to write, this is my company, we do this, we are a fractional chief AI officer company offering AI services, and we do a lot of different projects, including content creation, project management, implementation, advising, course creation, and we need a full stack, we need a stack of proper project management programs that we can do content creation for ourselves and for client management, as well as project management, general organization, sales and financial management, and fundraising for startups. And we are already using Google Workspace, and we already are using this program, and we're already using that program, and we've already viewed these 5 programs, additional other programs. Please do a deep analysis of these programs, how they can help us solve these tasks, and overview the pricing, the considerations, scalability as the company grows, as we add more staff, and learning curves, and help us decide which program is best and which programs are best to use for our growing company. Right? Like that is a prompt. Now, I'm saying that in English, and this is why natural language processing is such a big deal, but modern AI is so great, because the real crux of what this whole episode's about is that y'all have had AI in your machine since day one, and you didn't know because you couldn't talk to it. Because imagine everything I literally just said. That second prompt that was very long-winded, a nice paragraph prompt, versus the first prompt, which is I need a project management system for my company. Imagine just trying to say that in Spanish.
All of
both those prompts I just gave. Imagine putting those in Spanish. Right, because you don't know Spanish, do you? In poquito? Right. I do. I lived in Spain. Okay? Yo viví en España. And para mí, para decirlo en español, un poco difícil. ¿Sabes? So it's like, I speak Spanish. I speak French. I studied Japanese. I'm going to commit to that statement. I have a whole BA in Japanese. That's as far as I'm going to commit to my Japanese knowledge. I did study some Chinese. I studied a little Korean. You know, I can kind of listen to and understand Portuguese sometimes, right? You know, the Germanic languages probably more than someone who knows nothing, but not like a lot, right? You know, I know what in Barbara Quechua is, right? My point here is that even for me to do that as someone who lived in the country would be a huge difficulty compared to a Spanish speaker. And I might be considered by some bilingual or trilingual. So imagine the complexities of trying to do that in a language, because this is the problem with coding languages. Because you can't speak them and you can't hear them, you can't think them. as somebody who has dreamed in French, who has dreamed in Spanish, dreamed in Japanese, it comes when you can speak, when you can easily read, write, speak, listen to music, TV, shows, watch movies, have conversations. That's when you get to the point of cognitive understanding to where you can actually dream in those languages, where you can think in your mind in those languages. You can't do that in Python.
Okay.
Because you can't speak Python.
Yeah.
And you can't, and this is where the typing piece comes out, where I got the whole handwriting part, right? Is that your brain does not process typing.
No.
At all.
Yeah.
Virtually.
Yeah.
At all. It processes writing.
Yeah.
By hand. That's why products like Remarkable are so important. Right? For those who know about Remarkable, right? You heard about that? It's like this specialized tablet that just looks like a sheet of paper, and it has a special pen that you can write onto, but it's all digital. So you can physically handwrite all your notes and handwrite and hand draw and hand do everything on Remarkable, and just like a little button, new page, or just scroll upwards, and then it'll all be like uploaded to the cloud to your little program, and all your notes are
probably
right there.
seen it, but if I didn't know that's what that was.
Yeah, because I've seen people use them in business and stuff like that, and they're really great. Right, that's why that product was made, and it's so necessary, because they understand that cognitively. That's why some people are like, I can't learn from typing notes, because you can't. You actually can't.
Yeah.
When I was
I'm one of those people. I can't, like, no.
Because you do that on our calls all the time. I see you write notes, even our meetings. And I'll be typing, or we have a note taker recording everything that will make notes, and she'll sit there and write everything down. And don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about it, because your brain cannot process typing. You have to understand that typing, from like a linguistic brain standpoint, typing is an interpretation. Typing is saying, asking your hands to remember where TYPING is on a keyboard, plus the space key, and when to hit the space key, when to hit enter bar. It's not writing. Interestingly, it's really not. It's a physical hand motion. It's literally just doing this, and you're expressing through your fingers, and in your brain, it's like the output is counted. Your brain processes it to an extent like speech, so it works like speech, but doesn't work like memory does with writing, and that's why it gets lost. And if you want to get elemental about it, for those of us who are very spiritual, right? Speaking is giving to the element of air. Writing is giving to the element of earth. You know what I'm saying? So that's why writing has a certain kind of value. So when you're listening to something and you write it down, you're transmuting air into earth. You want to think elementally, right? And this is why it's so important, and why to write, to practice writing, to remember to write. One of the reasons why they're bringing cursive back into school. It took it away for a few years.
And I did not understand that, but that's neither here nor there.
I literally was the last year in my elementary school. I was the exact last year to get cursive.
Really?
Yeah.
We had cursive when I was in.
A couple years ago. Yeah, I remember. No, I remember. Maybe Hawaii was just cool like that.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I was 8 years old when they changed the playgrounds from those metal ones to the plastic johns. And then when I came back up here, y'all still had the metal ones. Like, oh, y'all behind. Yeah, so I was like, in the mainland, it's behind. Like, y'all in the mainland are like, are you years? Like, what are you talking about? Like, man, back in Hawaii, our johns changed years ago. And then I watched them change again for y'all up here. Yeah. Because it already changed for me. It was like the early 2000s. So the change happened up here. For me, it was in the 90s. Because we're advanced. We're special. Okay? Stop. Yeah. 私stop.
Yeah, I was on.
先生グー。では
I really
stop.
hate that song.
茜
Please
汗
stop.
グー。私は stop.
I really can't
Sorry,
stand that
that's
song.
in Japanese to me.
I cannot say that.
It's a really good affirmation. You're just saying, I am a star. I get money and I am a star. That's literally all you're saying in Japanese.
I'm just so tired of hearing it.
俺は stop. That's the masculine version. 私は stop. All right, I'll stop. But to get to the point, so this is another reason why computer languages have been so hard to learn to use. It's because you can't speak them. You'll never see two nerds talking Ruby on Rails to each other.
Talking what?
Ruby on Rails. It's a computer language. You'll never see two nerds talking Java to each other. You'll never see two nerds. Now, you might write it as in like hide things in the code, and if you plug the code in, it'll do something. That's actually sweet, romantic. I've heard stories of like coding couples who like would like send each other code, and then they would like process the code. It'd be like would like a little thing pop in the computer says I love you, or like that's cute.
No, for sure. I've always thought that was so cute. Like,
this is right. But that's not the same as writing a note that says, will you go out with me?
Yes.
And my point is, for the brain standpoint, like the cognitive piece, there is a complete disconnect.
Yeah.
So it's what makes these languages so hard to use, as it makes them so hard to appreciate, and to value, and hard to communicate, and hard to apply. And that's been a big barrier to entry. So when I get to the point, which was the overarching theme of this whole episode, there has always been AI in your business softwares. It's always there. Okay, AI is like your skeleton, and you only see one part, your teeth. You didn't think about that, did you? Your teeth are your bones that you can see.
Yeah.
They're the only bones you can see, you can touch all the time, interact with, clean, and feel. All your other bones, you don't see and feel and now they shape you. You can't live without them,
obviously,
right? But it's kind of like, to use an analogy, where we are invertebrates and we have our bones on the inside, right? And only the teeth are visible for those who have them. Because some creatures don't even have teeth. That's another story for the day. Some invertebrates don't have teeth. Language is like bones. Yeah? To a system, to a program. The coding language is the bones. And what AI is like now, which is going to sound really gross. Are you with me?
Go ahead, girl.
It's going to sound gross, okay?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, girl. All right. It's like a creature that is both an invertebrate and like a crustacean, like an exoskeleton. Does that make sense? Where the bones are on the outside. It's like they're both. Because if the bone is like the language that makes the system function, it's almost like a knight in shining armor, but the armor is the bones. Two. You get what I mean? It has both. Turtle could be seen this way, but technically not. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that with turtles. We're going to talk about another topic. But you can see it that way. And so what I mean by that is like AI has this bone on the outside. That's right. It has a bone on the outside that's the language. You could talk to, you get to see it, and it's human language. We get to interact with it. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the English. Whereas the coding is like this. It's like the entryway is the teeth, that little window which the coder can speak its own language to. I'm just trying to give you guys ideas and analogies of what that would look like, right? So you can visualize. It's for visual thinkers. You can use people who can listen to words and come up with ideas in their brain. Not everybody can do that. But at the end of the day is it's always been in there. Whether it's logistics, right? Analytics is a huge one, right? Every automation you can think of, every automated text message, every email has been run by AI this whole time. Like, that's what I'm trying to help you understand. Like, this stuff has always been there. And obviously, now it's just that we can control it. Yes. So we're going to discuss that in our next episode. I really appreciate you guys hanging out and talking language with me and the metaphysical stuff, because we got to. All right? And we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.